Greetings, my thesis students. This is Dan Seidel, and I would like to say a few words to you about what the review of literature chapter should consist of in your theses. It seems that there's some kind of confusion, and as I'm looking over how you're approaching that chapter, it seems that that you could benefit from some additional guidance, because I think it might be a little confusing. That chapter that reviews the literature is not simply a survey of the sources that you will use. This is the chapter that you lay out and demonstrate to the reader that you know the existing scholarly literature on your subject, whatever that particular subject is. And so you need to show the reader your mastery of that literature, that the scholars, the art historians that have focused on your particular area. And so you have to make a decision on what that particular area is. And you have to show that you've already mastered it and that your thesis is contributing to that literature. So that the literature, you are arguing that you're offering a survey of the existing literature, and then you are showing where the existing literature has a space, unanswered question, or not explored in a particular way that you are then going to provide. And so you need to demonstrate how you contribute to that. Keep in mind, this isn't just a long paper. This isn't just a longer writing assignment. This is a master's thesis. It's proving you're deserving an advanced degree in art history, which means you need to know that scholarly literature, not the survey literature, not the introductory textbooks, not the surveys of modern art. You need to show focus that you've actually read the literature on. You've read the scholarly literature on Jean-Michel Basquiat and Jackson Pollock, or Salvador Dali and Van Gogh, or whomever, and whatever subject is that's your purview for your thesis. You have a mastery over what other art historians, what other scholars who've come before you, what they've contributed that you are familiar with, which can be resources that you will use. But you need to show how your work fits into that landscape. And so that chapter is extremely important. I would say to you that the first two chapters are the most important parts of your study. The introduction, you're laying out the framework. You're laying out the question. You are approaching the subject from a particular perspective. How are you approaching this subject? What are you going to focus on? And then the second chapter is how does your scholarly contribution fit in with the scholarly literature? So it means that you need to already have a mastery of that. You need to show that you've read that. You need to show what the literature is, what the literature says, and you have to choose what that is. You have to make that selection. And so you set those first two chapters out. Then the subsequent chapters will, in some ways, write themselves, or at least be with the kind of trajectory that you are then going to do your work. But keep in mind that the bibliography, the sources that you are using, can't be general sources that an undergraduate or even an undergraduate would use, or that would be one of the survey textbooks that you used in one of your classes. It needs to be advanced scholarly research. And that will frame the contours of your study. And I hope that's helpful to you. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And I will continue to give you feedback on your outlines. For many of you, there's just unclarity in your outlines. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by this sentence or that sentence, and I try to mark it. But vagueness, you want to avoid vagueness. You want to be specific. You want to be able to define your terms. If you're going to be focusing on spirituality in some way, what does that mean? If you're going to focus on market success, what does that mean? What does market success mean? When did market success happen? Did Picasso have market success right away? Did Basquiat right away? How did that occur? You need to be more specific. So I hope these observations are helpful to you. I'll do another little short video chat when the time seems right for a consensus of some questions that seem to be percolating, and I'll do this again. So hope it's helpful. Take care.